So great to be back. So great to be back live for one of our episodes, our interviews. Today, we are introducing one of those watchmakers that I've been observing from slightly afar, if you like, because I know he was busy with what I would call an incredible project. So, when you've been for 10 years, as you can see on the back here, into the world of independent watchmaking, you don't get surprised by many things. But the project this man has been involved with over the last several years has been absolutely crazy. You know what we do here. This is your favorite channel for artisan independent watchmaking. We try to expose the story of the real, true watchmakers of our time. We have a Dutch watchmaker today that, again, maybe not known by many, but of course very well known by those that understand this art, this form of art. Machiel Hulsman is with us today, member of the AHCI, and that's where we have met back in the day. Machiel, welcome. It's great to have you here. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Nice to see you again.
Where are you broadcasting from?
I'm from the Netherlands, a small town near Zwolle. Yeah, we just moved 2 years ago.
Fantastic. So Machiel and I, it's fair to say, Machiel, we have had a lovely encounter at the AHCI when we started, of course, supporting the AHCI. For those that don't know, the AHCI is the Academy of the Independent Horologists, Watchmakers. To be part of the AHCI, you have to prove to the committee of the AHCI itself that you can actually build your own watch, you can build your own movement. This is how you become a candidate, and this is how you finally become a member of the AHCI. The AHCI, of course, has seen some compelling names involved with it back in the day when it was founded by Anderson and Vincent Calabrese. Then small names like George Daniels, Derek Pratt, and then thereafter, Andrea Strella, Bernard Lederer, Vianney Alter, you name it, Ludovic Balloir, etc., all the masters that we all know. And I remember in one of the exhibitions, I approached this gentleman that now stands in front of me, who was exhibiting over there. And if I'm not wrong, you only have one watch. At the time, you only had one watch, and you explained to me your concept of only building unique, exceptional timepieces made by hand, handcrafted in-house, and highly customizable. Is this something that represents yourself still today, Machiel? Where are you on your journey?
Yeah, so I started with my time only, the Marielise, to learn everything. Including making the escapements fully and all the jewels and everything. And then I made the tourbillon. And I had both watches on AHCI stand. But so the first one was to learn, and the tourbillon was designed together with the customer. And that was my approach. That is my approach to make one-off timepieces where we sit together and we design exactly what the customer wants, all the complications as well. And after that, I will design the movement for that timepiece.
So, and Sam is here to help me. Maybe we can show the solstitium tourbillon that we were discussing. This was talk to us about this, which is actually one of the pieces that came into existence from your production. Because let's not forget it, building a watch in-house as a company is already a very, very long journey. Doing it as an individual on your own, in your own workshop, can take sometimes, obviously, years from the conception to the realization. So on a piece like this, what was the journey specifically from when you decided to go for it and when you actually made it to become something concrete?
So this was my first customer, and he said, I want to be your first customer. And then I told him, okay, if you want to be my first customer, you want a tourbillon. And he said, well, great, let's make a tourbillon. But what is a tourbillon? So I had to explain him. And after that, we exchanged ideas, and then I started designing several designs actually, and then we worked more on this one. And so this one has jumping hours, retrograding minutes, double barrel for over 75 hours. The tourbillon, of course, 1 minute tourbillon with 28,800 beats per hour, so very fast escapement. So there's an extra spring on the escape wheel to make it run as fast as it does. So this is a nice.
So this was totally a one-off customized piece.
Yes, a one-off, 39 millimeters wide, 9 millimeters, 9 in height. Just a one-off, but I got a lot of demand for this actually, but I never got around to making more. It's, for me, the fun was make another timepiece for somebody else instead of remaking the same.
And now we'll see how you have taken that concept to the very extreme, the fact of always innovating and inventing. Because maybe we should give a little bit of a background speech on where you come from, what's how you were raised, you know, from the professional perspective. You are basically you like tools, you like engineering, you like maths, and that's your world, Machiel. Can you explain for us?
Indeed, yeah. So I started actually as an IT consultant many years ago, and then I found my true passion, which is watchmaking. And then I started 2 years working in the evenings, nights, weekends, holidays. Gathering tools, machines, materials, and all the knowledge to make my first timepiece. So that after 2 years, I told my wife I have to stop working because it's not working anymore. I have to go full in or quit because there's no other way. Then my wife told me, well, then you have to stop working and go for your new career. So I worked another 3.5 years on the Machiel, so 5.5 years in total, and to learn all the 35 trades. And then after that one was finished, I got a customer, and we worked on the tourbillon. So I learned myself actually without much help from the internet in those days, because 10-11 years ago you couldn't find anything online about watchmaking. And now you can find some stuff, so now it's a bit easier, but it was quite hard to learn everything.
Of course. There is again, I go back to the fact of the time that is required also to learn the skills and to turn them into something like a finite product, like complex movement and a complex watch. On the tourbillon that we just saw together, for instance, how long of a project was that from conception to realization?
Well, it took about 2 years actually. Yeah, it was quite a long time, but I wasn't as experienced.
It could have been worse.
It could have been worse, but now it will take me a bit less time than that.
Yeah. So in your approach, is the discovery is a big part of it. No, the fact that as an engineer, basically micro engineer, you're looking for solutions all the time, and you are never happy with eventually the solutions that you find. You're always already digging for the next one. How does it work then? How limiting it is when you get let's say a brief from a customer, and are you the sort of person that you know where you're starting, but you don't know quite where you're gonna end up?
Yes, yeah, that's the thing. So now I'm working on a 3X tourbillon with 24-hour alarm and a big globe with a 24-hour setting, power reserve, jumping hours, pausing minutes, 3D moon phase. So so I'm finishing that one now. But we started with I want a perpetual calendar with a minute repeater. And then 2 weeks later, he said, well, I actually don't want a perpetual calendar. And let's skip the minute repeater as well. So let's go for this and that. So we saw all complications passing. So finally, we ended up with the 3-axis tourbillon with the globe and the alarm and everything.
Yeah. So, there is a big emphasis on the fact that obviously you do most things in-house. You have the tooling, you have the machines, and you have the knowledge, you have the patience, you have the time sometimes, and you have the hands to be able to do what you do. But there is, how can I say, there is this openness that you have to customization that comes from the fact that you've been working for a few years, and only those that know will know that you have been working on probably the most ambitious project in watchmaking, a timepiece that includes a vast number of complications that never were all mixed together in the same piece. So we're talking about 60 different complications, and this was as well a commission. So as you talk to us about this incredible endeavor, is that the reason ultimately why you feel so confident in being able to jump from one complication to another, depending on what the customer does, and you don't find it crazy that customers may change their mind, because anyway, there's very little that you don't see as covered by your knowledge and by what you can actually do?
That's true. So I made the tourbillon with a jumping hour, retrograde minutes, because I liked the design, and that was just a feature, and I just made it. Nothing big, nothing special. It's just jumping hour, retrograde minutes. But for some, it may be a big challenge. And then I got the assignment to make the most complicated timepiece in history, and I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to do that. So then I asked a good friend of mine in Switzerland, famous prototypist, and he said, okay, I will help. And then we embarked on the project. Well, actually, it turned out I embarked on the project, because he never helped a bit, so I had to do it myself. And during the process, I found out that I can actually do it. So I designed all these complications, the movement, did all the calculations, everything. And it turned out it's a very good design, very sturdy, unbreakable. You just have to set the date and the rest will follow. So it's designed as a daily wearer. So it had to be easy in use. So if you set the date, the day of the week will always follow and be correct. The year and the months will follow, and the running equation of time will also follow. The sunrise and sunset, as well as the season indicator, the moon position in the sky, the moon phase, and the moon age will all be synchronized. So you just set the date, and that's it. You're done. You don't have to use pushers or any correctors or anything. Just the date, and the whole timepiece is set.
Which is easy said. Easy said, maybe not that easy to be done. Sam was showing the cross section of the watch we are talking about. So Sam, if you can go back to the cross section, the split image that you showed before, we can, and then I can read this for you. This project you're working on, and you are already in an advanced state, as you have explained. There will be obviously hour, minutes, second display, day and night, grand strike, small strike, silence, minute, decimal, hour repeater, carry on 6 gongs, hot start from chiming, programming the grand strike, small strike function we display on the side. I could carry on for ages. I'll go at the end of the list where I can see obviously tourbillon, chronograph incorporated with the instant jump minutes counter, etc., sunrise, sunset, as you just said, etc., etc., etc. Were you taken again by the customer that commissioned this watch to this crazy level of complexity, and was it your own mission to keep it simple in terms of how easy it could have been used?
Well, after 2 months of going back and forth with the customer, we had the list of complications he wanted. And then I did some research, of course, and eventually I found out that it would be the most complicated timepiece ever. We didn't know when we started. But he told me it has to be a daily wearer. Oh, and by the way, it has to be able to go back in time and date as well. So stuff that doesn't exist actually to go back in date, and everything follows. So it was a huge challenge, but well, finally the design is there now, and I can start making it. But that's where the project stopped, unfortunately. So the customer had some issues. He wants to continue, but that might take a while. So one day, hopefully, we'll resume the project.
So you would be ready to create that incredible watch. It's just that incidentally you had to stop now.
Yes.
However, this point that you made about regressing the date backwards made you think of other ways to express your inventivity in how can I say, creativity from the engineering perspective on a new piece that you've just launched, which is actually a very interesting perpetual calendar. Why is it so interesting? Because it's nothing like perpetual calendars as we have conceived them to this point. Can you explain why?
So the thing I was most proud of was my perpetual calendar invention that's in the most complicated watch. And then when the project stopped, well, I just had to make the perpetual calendar module. So I wanted to make it in a series of 12. Initially, it would have been fully handmade, 100%. But finally, I decided to go to use the CNC as well for this project. So it will be mostly handmade, but not 100%. And I could incorporate the perpetual calendar in this timepiece. It's 39 by 9.5 millimeters. And it's easy to set. So the reversed crown system is totally different from existing crown systems. So this one has several functions moving just when you pull out the crown. One click, and the second click initiates other stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the crown system already, but it's a lot stronger than existing crown systems. And you can set the date backwards, forwards, and the day of the week and the month and the year on the back will follow. So it will always be in sync. So you just set
because obviously
the date and you're done.
For those that follow our channel, of course, it could sound a little bit repetitive, but a perpetual calendar is basically giving you always the exact date, regardless of if you are on a normal or on a leap year, basically, because this is where a calendar would naturally lose track depending on the length of the month of February, which every 4 years is different. And up to this point, for what we know, you would have needed a correction, of course, once every 4 years to be able to set your calendar back. Whereas in this way, you don't need any correction. You just operate that through the crown.
Yes, indeed. So you just set the date and the rest will follow automatically. So it will always stay synchronized. So no pushers, no correctors, only set the date and that's it.
So it means that you don't even need to use the crown every 4 years just to do the simple adjustment. There's no adjustment that is needed.
No, indeed.
Okay, amazing, amazing. So you have obviously also created your own design identity because it's a piece with a lot of character. We've seen. I think my personal take is that perpetual calendars are often very busy for me. It's a complication I like. I also find it useful. Obviously, we haven't invented recently the perpetual calendar. It's something that I think Mudge first introduced, the legendary British watchmaker, and then in more modern times, a lot of watchmakers would have experimented with the perpetual. I find it often very busy, whereas you have done completely an opposite exercise of what you normally see, because you would see normally counters in the middle of the dial, whereas you left the dial completely free, and you worked a lot on the edge of the, let's call, of the case and the dial, by introducing obviously different things. There's a power reserve, there's a day and night indication, and then those windows that look very, very spectacular to actually give some highlights to the calendar itself. Yes.
Yes, indeed. So the windows are needed to get the lights in on the discs, so the prisms work best. Yeah.
Fantastic. And what did you want to express with the balance wheel? Because I have a question about the balance wheel that is obviously comes out as prominently as obviously the day and month indication that you see at 2 and 4 o'clock.
Yeah, so that it appears to be floating, and that's because there's no balance bridge, no visible balance bridge. It's a sapphire balance bridge, and the shock system is mounted inside the sapphire, and the balance wheel is actually formed around the spring, so it comes up, and it is only about 1/1500th of a millimeter below the sapphire. So you don't see anything, no attachments, nothing. You just see a floating balance.
Yeah. So of course for stupid people like myself to fully understand, the balance is not linked to the sapphire that covers, of course, the dial. There is a sapphire bridge that we don't actually see, but we perceive, which keeps the balance held with the movement. Yeah.
Yeah. So the shape that you see, the cutout, is actually the bridge, the complete bridge.
Yeah. Okay. That's amazing. So it's like a floating, flying balance wheel there. It's also slightly oversized. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So
Okay.
10.7 millimeters.
Yeah. And in terms of the flow of energy and accuracy and chronometric performance, have you made any specific choices here that are worth talking about?
Well, it's a 21,600 beat per hour escapement, about 90 hours plus power reserve. So that's
amazing.
Those are specifics.
Yeah, and the power reserve, how does it work? Because I did say there is somewhere a power reserve indicator, but it's not as obvious as I put it. Shall we explain how the power reserve indicator works? So 90 hours, we're talking about 4 days power reserve, yeah? And how does the indicator works?
Well, it is in blue, or any other color the customer would like, but normally it would be blue. And when you have to start winding the watch, so let's say you used about 80 hours of power reserve, then it will turn orange, slowly to red. So it only reminds you to wind the watch when it's needed. So it's not like a power reserve indicator where you see, oh, I'm low on power reserve. It's just only when you see the colors change, then you know I have to start winding. So I like to refer to it as a winding indicator.
So in this case, you have marked that in red just to show the difference with the other indicator, yeah? So the power reserve indicator is the one in proximity of the 55-minute mark, yeah?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. What about the indicator we see at 5, at the 5-minute mark?
Yeah, that's a day-night indicator in aventurine.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So that will also change color from which tone of color to this blue?
From gray to blue. Yeah.
From gray to blue, yeah. Fantastic. So in terms of the readability, as I said, I think this your tactic of leaving the center of the dial very, very clean really allows the user to focus with the kind of critical attention to the edge of the dial, where actually you have all the information that a perpetual calendar is gonna give you at a glance, because that half moon hand that is indicating 18 over here shows you the date, and then you have your day at 2 o'clock and you have your month at 4 o'clock. I was going to, if we go back to the previous image, of course, you said on this project you wanted to be a little bit faster than what you can be by making everything totally in-house. So you are using the help of automatic machines, CNC machines, and but you're still giving a very big amount of customization possibilities, as we can see here. Could you run us through what are possibly the customizable elements in this collection in particular?
So the options in the dial are, for example, the guilloche or the smoked sapphire or meteorite. But we are also working on different dial designs at the moment. So there might be more options in the future. And I will show more when we have some examples. But the colors of the dial can also change, of course. So there's a lot of options actually on the dial. And that's because, mostly, so everything will be done in-house, and most of the stuff is done by hand. So that gives the opportunity to make a lot of choices.
So customization will be material of the case, for example, and then everything regarding the dial. You are not going to play the game that you like to play sometimes, to mess around with other complications or other indications, etc., because this is quintessentially the easiest calendar ever made, and you want to keep that identity, of course, I guess.
Indeed, yeah. And the prisms on the side are a nice feature.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not necessary to have them. But because no pushers or correctors are needed, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that there are no pushers. So I will make windows on the side.
Yeah, and we see it very well. Thank you, Sam. We see it very well here. So the on the design again, I want to just say that when I saw the watch for the first time, I thought, I had a feeling that this may be a bigger watch to what I was imagining. But actually, you said it's only over 39 millimeters wide in terms of diameter. And what's the thickness again, if you have it in mind? Is it 13 millimeters?
9.5.
Ah, it's 9.5.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So I confirm my impression. My impression is obviously wrong. And being this renders quite zoomed in, I think the final word will be given by the reshot of the first prototype that you will be able to put out there. When are you foreseeing the prototype to be ready for?
Well, I have some orders now, and so I will make the prototype and the first timepieces. So I think it will take about 2 years for the first ones.
Okay. So in 2 years' time. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great project. So I think could you also elaborate on how many pieces you see making in total of and if it will be a total quantity or there will be a total quantity per material of the case?
No, it's a total quantity. So 12 in total for sale.
Yeah.
And that can be any material. So I'm working with so titanium is also an option now, as I got some demand for that. So it used to be yellow gold, white gold, rose gold, but now titanium is so added, and I'm working on platinum as well. So those that might be an option later as well. And but still, it will be only 12 in total. And for sale actually, and a 13th, so number 0 out of 12 will go to auction for charity.
Oh, well done, well done. That's really good. A question that I always have when I have the luck and the fortune to talk to somebody like you that really has gone through all the different manufacturing processes, and you can really control everything from A to Z. Obviously, you give yourself the flexibility to be a little bit faster, like on this project too, so you have some help. Which warranty, in the position you are, which warranty can you give on a piece like this, where you've mastered the technology? You know, once it's done, it will be quite simple in terms of how it will be used. So what's the warranty on a piece like this?
So this is a lifetime warranty, and that's because they are made to last. So all the correct materials, but no silicium or any other exotic materials. So just the basic watchmaking materials like brass and AP20 and that kind of stuff. And so I told about the crown system. It's a lot stronger than usual. You can't break anything in the watch with the crown, so it's protected for misuse.
And of course, the warranty covers the manufacturing defect. So because you do everything, you know that the margin for error is much smaller, and also you know that anything that may happen, you yourself can actually operate on it to fix and to correct where needed.
Indeed, yeah,
and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of working with the artisans, because in the case of Machiel, he doesn't need to outsource to somebody else to do the repair, and so he doesn't have to feel nervous about how long the warranty covers. And in our experience at the limited edition, that's also the reason why we always give additional warranty to our customers on basically all our brands, because we find that the artisans are generally in control, of course, of what they do. They don't have to rely on external companies to then outsource the repairs, and that's a massive, massive advantage. One philosophical, slightly question, Machiel, I'm pretty sure you appreciate that this watch will be in somebody's hands in 100 years, 200 years, 300 years from now, like we are now admiring some of Tompion's, Harrison, Mudge work, just to name a few. Are you confident that despite your high degree of inventivity and innovation, any watchmaker in the future, in the remote future, will still be at ease operating on one of your watches?
Oh, for sure, yeah. So the big invention in this timepiece is of course the perpetual calendar module, which is actually quite simple. So there will be a service manual attached as well, of course. So every watchmaker should be able to service these timepieces in the future.
Amazing. And is that something that you value in particular, like many of the artisan watchmakers do?
Yeah, of course. I think it's very important that if you buy a timepiece like this, it's a lot of money, of course, and it can be a heritage piece, and it should be capable of being that and being serviced in the future.
Yeah. So from your involvement with the AHCI, I'm sure you must be very proud, and it's been already a few years. You have also developed friendships, like the AHCI is quite amazing because you see a lot of these artisans actually talking to each other to resolve technical issues, to discuss aesthetic choices, and to partner up at times. I know in more than in an occasion, there have been artisans stepping in, helping other artisans in phases of the construction or the finishing or the decoration where they would be more specialized than the person that is developing a particular watch. I know that this watch is a little bit gone in that direction. Shall we mention some of the people you've been collaborating or
Yes,
checking things with?
Yeah. So starting with the design, I worked with Maximilian Mayer, worked with Sylvain Pinot as well. A great designer, great guy. I'll meet him next week.
Sylvain is fun. Sylvain is fun.
Yeah. And Maximilian Mayer as well, great designer. So and that's one of the things I love most. That's the interaction with other people in the business and with the customers, because they are enthusiastic. I am enthusiastic, and then great collaborations. So Maximilian, and then for the finishing, or first start with the components, of course. There's a lot of components to be made. So Julien Texier and Kai Corpela, they will help. And then for the finishing, I will get some help from Philippe Narbel.
Oh, the one and only.
Yes.
The one and only Philippe. Yeah. Fantastic group of people. It must be also refreshing for you, as you tend to work on your own, as we explained before, to actually open up and collaborate. No, do you get new ideas? How does it work actually practically? Do you call people around to see, because I suppose you wanted to finish this project in a relatively acceptable amount of months, and so you decided to go the way of seeking some collaborative efforts. How did it go? Were you just discussing ideas with them, and then it happened naturally, or you picked up the phone and you said, "Oh, Philippe, I need you for this. Reno, I need you for that"?
Yeah, actually, I started on this project quite some time ago. Then it was still a handmade project, and then I thought I have to launch it soon. There's a perpetual calendar module inside, which I really want to launch and make it happen. So I finished the design, and then I just phoned some friends, and I said, "Man, I've got a nice project. What do you think? Do you want to help out?" And then it's, of course, let's make things happen. And
because it's I don't like stereotypes, but there is a feeling within the AHCI that everyone is so busy and so overwhelmed with, let's face it, with demand. And I don't say here this to create hype, but when somebody like Sylvain Pinot can only make 15 watches a year, obviously the demand is much bigger than that. So for him to get out of his normal routine, he would actually appreciate getting his hands into something completely different, just to do something different, and to help somebody else that could get some of the demand that is out there in the market and is still unsatisfied. No, does it work a bit like that, or am I romanticizing a little bit things?
Well, maybe a bit for the AHCI part. They are indeed extremely busy. Sometimes it's even hard to get a hold on certain people. And I have friends that are at least at the same level, like Kai Corpela and Julien Texier, and they are very close friends. So it was easy to go to them.
Absolutely.
It's great to work together with friends.
Yeah. And that's the other thing about being independent. You do what you want, and you work with whoever you want, and for as long as you bring value to who's on the other side, so the collectors.
Indeed. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great to. It's completely different from, for example, the IT world where I worked in. High-profile projects, a lot of politics, and yeah, you had to set up teams and work with people that, well, might not be your first choice. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
And now I created my own new world where I choose to work together and spend my time with people that I value a lot.
Yeah. Machiel, thank you so much. I have one last question. Behind me here, you can see in our little world, we're not clever enough to make watches, but we've been kind of contributing to spread the word about the beautiful artisan independent watchmakers over the last 10 years. And of course, we're not numb to the difference that has happened over the last 10 years. When I started this, people were asking me, you what? You want to do what? Because back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, independence, of course, were a thing for the collectors that were already out there knowing independence, but the awareness was not necessarily there. 10 years down the line, we have maybe the opposite situation, whereby now the real ambassadors of real watchmaking are definitely the independents. So it's crazy for me to see and to appreciate. I'm very happy about it. Are you surprised when you were an IT guy? Were you just driven by your own creative, inventive spirit, or did you have a feeling that things as the market, the collector's market, would have steered the way it has?
No. When I started, I had no clue whatsoever, and I had an idea, and that's to make custom timepieces, just one-offs. And 10, 11 years ago, I was the only one who would make the movement to fit the timepiece as well. So the only one in the world, the only place where you could turn to have your timepiece fully designed, made, everything you like, everything is possible. So I knew it was quite unique, and because of that, I knew people would like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is. From my side, I've always thought that for as anachronistic as people that are not into watchmaking would think that watchmaking is, it is one of the last ways for humans to stay human the way they are. And it's become a little bit of an ambassador of humanity in that sense. We obviously don't need watches to tell the time, but we need watches to still show what human brains and human hands can do. And most of the times when it's about watchmaking, it's mind-blowing. So thank you for your work. Thank you for your time, Machiel. I wish you the best of luck. I know the launch of the Easy Perpetual calendar was good for you. I hope, and we are here to give our contribution. And if you are on the other side, you've watched this live session with Machiel Hulsman, the Dutch watchmaker. You can send any question you may have. We're gonna obviously pass it across to Machiel, and we will try to keep you updated on the progresses on the making of the perpetual calendar. So, Machiel, thanks a lot once again, and we shall see you. We shall see you again, maybe at the AHCI or maybe somewhere in the world. We are trying to involve you also in some of the events that we have in the pipeline for the future. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
Me too. Thank you very much.
You take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.